Friends, welcome to the English program. I am Sanjay Pandey. Today we will talk to a person who is an embodiment of grit and determination. Her perseverance and motto, no matter how hard or how long, but you never give up. She is an inspiration to all, fighting an impossible war with cancer. She not only triumphed, but achieved her dream of becoming a successful entrepreneur. Her name is КАИНAAT MANSOOR. КАИNAAT ji belongs to the league of some famous women who fought and defeated dreadful disease called cancer. Names like Martina Navratilova, tennis legend, Shannon Miller, who's a famous gymnast, Shaunti Lowe, who is 4 times gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist in high jump. And talking about film personalities, Sonali Bindre comes to my mind. Well, КАИNAAT ji is with us. Welcome to the studios. Well, before we talk about your ordeal with cancer, we would like to know, you belong to Lucknow or you came to Lucknow after marriage?
Hello, and thank you so much for having me with you today over here. I actually do not belong to Lucknow. I came here about 13 years back when I got married. And I originally belonged to Jaipur.
Okay.
And my father...
Pink City.
Yes, the Pink City.
Yeah.
And my father was an ex-army officer, so we moved around the entire country. And then I moved to Bombay. I started working over there. And you'd be surprised to know I used to fly for Air India. I was an air hostess with Air India for 10 years.
Okay, that's great.
And then,
we're talking to an air hostess, that means. Okay.
That's been many, many years back. I left in 98.
Okay.
And then after that, I moved to Saudi.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I moved over there and I started by teaching career.
So you started
Yeah,
teaching?
I started teaching over there. I did my B.Ed and everything after that, much later. I started my teaching career in Riyadh and then due to certain reasons, we moved back to India. So that's how the entire thing started and I got into a teaching line and now I'm a headmistress at a college in Lucknow.
Okay. 13 years back, you came to Lucknow.
Yes.
So what's the reason of moving to Lucknow?
I got married.
Okay.
I got married to a Lucknowite.
You got married 13 years back.
Yes.
And before that?
I was married before that, but unfortunately, on one of our trips to India from Saudi, my husband passed away. And it was a massive heart attack and he passed away like in 3 days' time. Everything came crumbling down. And I didn't know from where to start my life again. So I moved to Bombay after that. And I was in Bombay for almost about 10 years, 10, 12 years. And then we got a rishta and I got married again. My son was he was in class 11 when we got married.
So your husband belongs to Lucknow?
Yes.
So that's the reason you're in Lucknow?
Yes.
Talking about the disease that you got, how did you cope up? First, how did it all happen?
It is a very strange thing. I mean, the doctors also asked me that how come you didn't come to know when you reached that stage? Because when it was diagnosed at the 4th stage.
4th stage?
Yes, it was the metastatic 4th stage.
And when was this? Which year?
This was 22.
2022?
Yes, February 22.
And that was 4th stage?
4th stage.
My God.
And you won't believe it, just a week before that, it was just the end of COVID and we were having online classes in school. So in our free time, I used to play badminton with my teachers over there.
Okay.
And nobody could believe it, that 1 week later, I would be in so much of trauma and pain. It just happened over the dining table. I mean, we were just sitting and having our dinner. And I suddenly realized there was a pin kind of a thing, poking into my breast. So I told my husband, I said, I don't know why. It feels like a pricking thing. And it's been happening since evening. Once or twice I've felt it. So he said, no, don't worry. Nothing like that. Must be just too much of badminton you've played. So I said, yeah, possibly. We finished our dinner and then I was still very uneasy. So when I went to wash my hands, I felt around, and I felt there was a lump. Okay. So I came out and I told him, I said, I felt a lump. I mean, obviously there was a change of expression on his face, but he didn't show it that much. And he tried to calm me down because I got stressed immediately, knowing what it is, So he said, don't worry, I immediately called my principal and I told him, I said, I'm sorry, but I won't be able to come tomorrow because I need to go for some check. Immediately I went into my КΑΙNAAT and I got my checkup done, everything, all my tests were done, and it came out malignant, 3 days time.
Malignant 2022.
Yeah.
So you had this disease and it was diagnosed. Now it is 2024.
Yeah.
So how long did you cope up with this disease and how you overcame this disease? Because many of our listeners would like to know how you did cope up.
It's not easy. It's not easy. But the first thing that I would tell everybody, whoever is listening to this interview, and if, God forbid, anybody goes through it, I wouldn't wish for that for anyone, but if anybody goes through it, just remember one thing, that fighting cancer is from your mind.
It's all in the mind.
It's all in the mind. The minute you start thinking positively and you fight it, you know that you will win it, you start winning over it, because it's all a mind game.
When this disease was diagnosed, were you depressed or you?
Yes, I was.
You were.
Yes.
And how did you overcome
It's
this
very
depression?
natural. I broke down.
Yes.
I completely broke down.
Must have.
And my support system were two major people in my life, my husband and my son. Both of them, they were totally shattered. Along with me, both of them were shattered. But then it was the third day when we came to know that I was malignant, and we moved immediately the very same day in the morning to Delhi. We did not waste even a single minute. And my entire family stood by me like a rock. My aunts, my cousins, my mother, my sisters, everybody was like a rock. That is one very important thing you need to fight this battle.
Because you can't do it alone.
No.
Although it may be in your mind that you have to overcome this disease.
Absolutely.
But unless until people are behind you, backing you up, only then you can fight such a disease. So how did you win this battle? That's the main question.
I have still not won it. I would say that I've won it 90%. But my chemos are still going on. I go through a very mild chemo along with immuno every 21 days. So it is still going on. The battle is on. But I know that the victory is mine.
Yes, definitely.
I know that.
I can see it in your face also. Talking about your passion. Disease came up, but you had dreams, you had passion for life. You wanted to achieve something.
Yes.
And listeners, I must tell you that she was able to achieve her passion. Tell us something about your passion, how overcoming these hurdles you still fought on and carried on with your passion.
My first passion was teaching, which I started off, and I took a break in between because I had no option. And I would like to mention over here that my college and the management were again another big support system for me along with my family. Had they not stood by me, or I should say, had they not been standing by me even today, I would have not been able to fight it.
Okay.
So they stood by me, they gave me time.
Okay, they allowed you holidays.
They gave me time to come out of it, to recover. Partially at least, to be able to come to school. So in the beginning, the first month was totally off work. After that, gradually I started working from home. Whatever little time I could give, I gave in. My teachers cooperated with me, all my teachers. So everything was done online at home, and I used to do. Then after that, I started going for a few hours. It was like not the entire day. Gradually, that number of hours kept on increasing, and I started going for an entire day. But even now, I have been given the relaxation to go at least half an hour to 45 minutes late in the morning, because it takes time for me to settle down in the morning. When I wake up, I can't immediately start working. So it takes me time to settle down. So they've allowed me a relaxation to reach school by 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Where the other people reach at 7:20. So even today they are standing by me.
That's very nice. But there were other dreams as well.
Yes.
And what were they?
A lot of them. A lot of them. One of my major dream is to travel, which I did start from the very beginning. So I traveled around the whole world. Then it
Carrying
was,
that disease?
Yes, I traveled over here. I mean, I traveled within the country after the disease.
Okay.
And every single opportunity that we get, we are off to the hills. And we drive down Our car becomes like a mini, you can say,
Caravan.
a caravan kind of a thing, with my entire kitchen with me.
Okay.
And we take an apartment.
You're fond of cooking also.
Yes. My husband drives.
Okay.
We go up the hills. Even if it's a 12-hour drive, we take a break and we go. And the other passions were, I was very fond of cooking. I am very fond of cooking. So given the slightest opportunity, I land up doing something or the other, experimenting something. And I used to make chocolates a long time back, which I stopped somehow. I don't know how it stopped. So after my illness, my son just spoke to me on the phone one day and he told me, Mom, it's been long. We've not made any chocolates. I said, yeah, actually. So he said, why don't you start making them again? And that's how making chocolates started. And I started making for people around me, my family and everybody. And then it started, like people started ordering chocolates. So I said, why not start off, as a home startup kind of a thing. So I started that very gradually. And then came a very major challenge of outside food and outside masalas, because we all know the kind of adulteration that is there in the masalas and things outside. So I started making them at home for myself.
Where did you get all the raw materials and everything?
My husband. He goes and buys all the raw material for me.
Okay. So you've installed some machines or something?
Nothing. Nothing.
Then how do you make all those masalas?
My home
Grinding.
My home mixer.
Okay.
I do all that on my own. I started, my own combinations, my own concoctions.
Okay.
Like this would be better in a particular masala. And then we made at home and we started trying them. For example, like a kadhai masala or a tikka masala or a pav bhaji masala. So those kind of things, we started making them at home. And I just spoke about it to a few people about it, like that I was doing this at home. And they said, ma'am, why don't you start off? We want to buy it.
Okay.
You make it.
Okay, so you do
And
it all alone or?
Both of us.
Just two?
Just the two of us.
You don't involve any other?
Nobody.
Oh, that's surprising.
Nobody at the moment. It's not such a big scale.
But it may, because
then we would plan something.
Because the number of orders that you must be receiving. Yeah. And what about the chocolate? Is it on a It's on a large scale or
no?
It's still...
That's also a small scale.
Okay,
that's also
it's
a small scale.
Rudimentary stage. But you plan to go big.
Someday. Yes.
Okay. Just because many people are listening to you, as a token of advice, what would you tell those persons who have got this disease? Some advice to them, especially women.
Be very, very observant. Observe your body, observe the changes, look at the warning signs, the red flags as they call it. Look out for them. It's very easy to say all these things because I never got any of them. There was nothing at all. It was just a pricking pain. That's it.
And you were physically active also.
Absolutely active.
You used to play every day?
Yes.
And still you got this disease?
Yes.
It's so surprising.
I cannot sit.
And what about you're fond of cooking? You must be fond of eating also.
Absolutely. I'm a total foodie. Both of us are. Total foodies.
Did this resulted in catching this disease or no?
No. I don't think so.
Is it hereditary or something?
Nothing.
No one in history?
A distant cousin has it. Had it. And one of my aunts had it. My second cousin aunt, you can say. I don't know from where or how I got it. I don't know. But yes, we need to be careful of the food we eat.
Okay. That's another advice.
Yes. The oil, especially the oil, anything fried should be avoided, absolutely, completely avoided from outside.
But how can we Indians avoid oil?
Again, it's a mind game. You need to just stop it. We've completely stopped.
You've stopped using oil?
No samosas, no fried chips, nothing. So as far as you can avoid oily stuff, you can avoid preservatives, all those things should be completely avoided.
So, क़ाइनात मंसूर ji, you came all the way from your house and you left your business and spared time for all India.
Not exactly a business. I wouldn't call it still a business.
You spared time.
School is more important at the moment. I work at school.
You had some important work at your school, but you spared some moment for All India Radio. We are very grateful to you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So that would be all in this edition of English program. This is Sanjay Pandey signing off. Namaskar. Good night.